This is why I believe that XRP is one of the most disruptive financial instruments that we will see in our living history. And I do believe that Ripple, the company, will be a company that goes down in history and will become one of the largest companies in the world. Now, I want to first start how I was introduced to XRP, share with you a little bit about my background, and share with you, I'm never ever going to tell you anything I'm not doing myself, and you should always do your own research. Never make an investment based on someone's personal bias. I always put my money where my mouth is. So back in, I don't remember the exact time or date, but it was like in between late 2019, 2020, a guy named Jay Bills, I always honor him for this because it changed my life, walked into our facility and said to me, "Have you ever heard of XRP?" Now remember, I came from banking. I spent over 10 years in banking. I went to CBA Executive Banking School where you learn how to scale banks from the ground up. This bank is executives from all over the world go to these banks. You get an executive banking certificate. At that point, I was a vice president of a bank. And so the system, you build a SIM model, right? So you learn how to scale banks from literally bottom to infrastructure to everything. But we were also told when we were in banking, I left in 2017, that Bitcoin is used for money laundering. It's a fraud. You're a criminal if you use it. So that was my bias. So that was the bias that I went into looking at this cryptocurrency. But the first thing I saw was a phoenix rising from the ashes. Typed in XRP and there was a phoenix rising from the ashes in the images. And if you don't know my story, that is the essence of my story. On December 18, 2006, I attempted suicide due to a massive opiate addiction 18 years ago. So my whole life is the phoenix rising from the ashes. So right away, it was like divinely directed. I'm like, whoa, that's me. So it kind of opened up my mind spiritually to look into it. And whether you believe it or not, every single person I've met, I've been to events with thousands of people there, XRP holders, and there's some sort of spiritual connection in regards to this. The people I'm around are talking about Christ and God and community and love and building and ecosystems. They're not talking about Lambos and Ferraris. There's something spiritual to the people that invested it. Just going to say that. Sounds weird, whatever. I have data. And we have 11,000 people that have come through our community, and they all have some sort of spiritual alignment. Could be different religions, whatever it is, but there's some sort of spiritual connection to a higher source. So there you go. That's pretty freaking cool. So I see this phoenix rising from the ashes, and then I go deeper. And I'm a researcher. I'm a generator in human design. I go deep into research. That's my thing. I look at facts, figures, numbers, logic. I'm a very logical person. I have to get to the logic. I have to get to the origin. So I go deeper and deeper and deeper. I'm like, why are banks not using this? Then I started to realize that Ripple was in Bank of America's patent, or is in Bank of America's patent. And then I went down the rabbit hole. I'm like, this company, Ripple, has all these technologies, all these services that could literally transform a bank. Remember, I know how to run banks. I know about the SWIFT system, Nostro Vostro, the messaging system. Now, people get this wrong. SWIFT is just a messaging system. Everybody thinks SWIFT moves money. It doesn't move money. It's the messaging, the communication. So when people talk about that, SWIFT doesn't move money. SWIFT is messaging, hence ISO. What SWIFT does is it helped interbank things, okay? Move things like the messaging so banks could communicate. The banks move the money back and forth. The SWIFT is communication. That communication sucks. It's slow, it's clunky, it's old. When I was at the bank, we were still using the DOS system. It was called I think SN40. It was like the black screen with the green in it, and you would do the thing. I think they're still using that. So that's something to think about, is a system has to change. So with ISO 20002, I always get that code wrong. All that's changing is the messaging is going to be super fast, and they delayed that to July now, 2025. So they're fixing the messaging system. I'm like, wow. Well, if you fix the messaging super fast, the transactions have to be super fast. And I'm like, that's what XRP does. It moves money at the speed of light for fractions of the cost. And then I started to think about it. I'm like, well, it's very volatile. It's crypto. That's weird. Why would they have something that's very volatile that would transact? Then I started to really think about it. If it's moving within seconds, the volatility doesn't matter. Because if you're moving money with the SWIFT system and it's slow, the messaging, and the banks are trying to get it over there, but SWIFT's messaging is slow, the communication, and they're holding money on this side and holding money on this side, that's volatility. Because the foreign currencies can go, if you're headed to another country, there's way more volatility in that because there's length, there's time. The more time, the more volatility. Reduced time, the less volatility. And so with the reduced time and the speed of transaction, they're able to do it for a fraction of the cost. I'm like, wait a minute. Banks are going to start to transform their system to blockchain technology, distributed ledger technology. They're going to start to move money at the speed of light, which is going to free up trillions of locked up liquidity. And that is going to make the money flow through the system again. And then they're going to start to advertise that for faster payments, convenience, because everything is fast and convenient now. You get food delivered to your house. You can get Costco delivered to your house. It's just part of the new model. I'm like, holy shit, this is disruptive. Like, this is amazing. And I was noticing that Ripple at that time was meeting with the SEC. They were the second cryptocurrency. You had Bitcoin 2009, then you had XRP in 2013. It was called something different back then. I don't remember what the XRP, I forget what the first coin was called, but it wasn't called XRP in the beginning. So anyway, so then I start to look and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And I went all in on XRP in 2020. So then we're cruising along on December 20th, 2020, and the SEC sues Ripple. Now I'm a very, very committed, loyal person. Right away, my spiritual gut was like, sacral was like, something's not right here. Jay Clayton initiated a case against Ripple for XRP being a security. And then this crazy ass dude leaves a couple days later, and he went to consult for a cryptocurrency firm that invested in Bitcoin and Ethereum just a couple months earlier. And then if you watch the documentary XRP Unleashed that we're part of, you will see that Bill Hinman got paid to give Ethereum a pass. We hadn't researched that at that point, but that's when we started going down the rabbit hole. So people were texting me, oh, why did you talk about XRP? And I said to them, I'm holding on like a tick on a dog. So I started buying it at 17 cents. And I went all in 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. And I've been buying it every day since then. And when it dips, I buy more. And then Trump comes in running on the crypto capital of the world, Bitcoin. Strategic reserve. And then all of a sudden, 5 years later, he does a tweet that mentions the top 5 cryptos we've been talking about since 2020. So as you see, that's why I'm stoic. That's why I'm calm. I don't make decisions off hype trends or meme coins or crypto bros and, this excitement and hype. The more excited it is, run as fast as you can. I do it based on facts, figures, numbers, logic, historical patterns, spiritual, physical, and financial. And I'm here to tell you that XRP will be one of the most disruptive technologies in the world. You don't have to invest in it. I am. It already changed my family's financial future from 17 cents to $3. But I'm going to be buying it every single day. And when it dips, I'm going to buy more. And my great-grandkids will have no idea what XRP is, but they will feel the ripple effect of discipline, consistency, conviction, and standing on your truth and your belief. That's the key to all of this, is you should always stand on your truth. My top 2 holdings are XRP, Bitcoin. Number 3 would be XLM. Number 4 would be Solana. Number 5 would be HBAR. Again, I'm not telling you what to invest in. I'm telling you what I'm convicted in. And you can go back to my posts from 2020 to 2025 and see my discipline, my consistency, my message. Posting every single day, not missing a beat. Sharing my conviction and my growth and maturity as an investor, as a father, as a CEO, and as a partner. And all I'm here to do is grow with you. And I'll continue to present the very things that I'm doing. So I went from completely broke on my parents' couch to a millionaire in cryptocurrency, to a millionaire outside of cryptocurrency, 2 7-figure ecosystems, building our third, to building cash-generating assets, a Rockefeller waterfall system set up. And over the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to start to build the generational wealth. And it's not about me. It's about God, family, protecting my ecosystem at all costs, and staying out of other men's business. I'm too busy working on mine. And I realized that when you make yourself the last, you become the first. When you make yourself first, you'll end up last. Love you guys. Warriors! Rise! Get your shit together.